Hazard is beyond OP. Another super tank getting put in the game. There's nothing that this guy can't do. I dare say, I know that they definitely want to go for the, quote, safe side of strong. Look at this beard cream I saw on my beard. I got to get that. Listen, I've been using these beard kits, man, because it's No Shave November. I've been getting thick. But, man, Hazard, I know they like to go for the safe side of strong, but Hazard is on the strong side of strong in this first iteration release. He definitely will need some tuning down. Today's video, I'm going to give you my honest thoughts on what I think about the character, and without waiting any longer, let's go dissect Hazard like he's a frog in 5th grade science class, piece by piece. All right, let's start with his gun. You know, he uses a shotgun that essentially it's a lot like Junker Queen, right? You know, it feels like a mix between Junker Queen and Doomfist. It can do pretty decent damage from mid-range. Long range is not really doing a whole lot, but it does have a surprisingly long range compared to what you think it might have, I guess. So it's pretty decent for mid-range poke, a lot like Junker Queen. It can do pretty good damage, but the spread is on the larger side. So again, you kind of need to be in that nice 15 to 20 meter range if you actually want to get value from the gun. But it is pretty comparable damage, and on bigger hitbox targets, you will hit a lot of those pellets. So it does do good damage. It's called Bone Spur. All right, let's go to his now right click with Spike Guard. Another tank with insane damage mitigation. Spike Guard, basically, it's when you right-click, you get to mitigate, I think it's like 80% of damage or something like that. It's really, really crazy, and it's on a resource meter. It's not even on a cooldown. It will reload your gun for you, like bullet by bullet. So it's not a full reload, but while you're blocking, if you had shot, it looks like, no, it regenerates really, really quickly. So yeah, you automatically reload while mitigating damage, which is just insane for his uptime. He's got way too much uptime. And on top of that, again, he shoots out those little automatic homing projectiles that don't do very much damage, but they are great at cleaning up kills. This is a prime example of the problem with 5v5 tanks. They're not allowed to have any weakness, and they have almost 100% uptime, or they won't get picked. I personally think this is a very unhealthy design philosophy for the game. I know many other people feel the same way, but if you're designing heroes in this format, this is what they kind of have to do. So his right click is very, very strong, mitigates almost all incoming damage. You can sleep him out of it, but even if you sleep him out of it, we're going to talk a little bit about how he's a lot like Doomfist, and where he's a less punishable version of Doomfist. So that right click is incredibly strong, next to 100% damage mitigation almost. Like it's enough to get a bailout for free from your support. Super crazy ability. That right click is crazy. His next ability is his leap, his shift. He has a leap as well as a wall climb, which we'll get to in a pass. I guess we can talk about the passive. He passively can climb walls. Pretty simple. He's the first non-Shimada to be able to climb walls in the game. His the way he vaults like a ledge can be a little bit buggy sometimes, but he is one of the more mobile tanks to be in the game, man. The shift, again, it gets insane distance, and you can use it as like a big engage tool because you can slash and get a big combo. If you shoot, jump, shoot, slash, melee, you can like one-shot kill somebody. I think that's what it is. Hold on, I'm in the practice range right now. You guys can't see that. Let's see, shoot, slash. Yeah, there we go. So again, that slash does a ton of damage, and there's a couple clips I have of me getting big AoEs on top of that. Not to mention, you can actually B-hop with it for a combo, and I'm actually going to switch my screen to show you guys real quick. One sec. Here you go. You guys are welcome. You're about to see a clinic right here. You're not going to be able to see me, but take a look at this. Ready? Watch this. Now, I'm not in full screen. Take a look. Ready? Look at this B-hop. Boom. You can do a little bit of B-hop, and you B-hop by, this is important, the reason why I tell you this, you do it by like holding down the spacebar while you're in the air. So hold down the spacebar, don't jump beforehand, and that's the key. So this is how you do this tech. I can't really activate my webcam real quick, so I'm going to go through it one more time real quick. Shift, hold space, boom, shift again. Just like that, and that's how you B-hop. So you can use this for extra mobility around corners and get that little bit of extra bounce to really take you the extra distance versus a lot of these comps and heroes that try to escape you. But yeah, so that shift is insane mobility. You can go super, super far with it. There's a lot of B-hop techs, and it does a lot of damage. That slash does like 100-something health. I'll have to take a look here right now, actually. Let's see. How much damage is this doing? Yeah, it's doing like 90 health, so you can weave in some big combos with the shotgun and the melee in between. Hypermobile. Again, and if you use it while you're in the air, I think you go even farther, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot of ways that you can get mobility out of this ability. It's super, super strong. Violently, very strong ability. Next is his Jagged wall. Now, some people have been saying, hey, you should use the setting that shows you where the wall is going to go. I think it's a terrible idea. It makes you have to press an extra button, and honestly, you can just get used to it as time goes on. When players impact this wall, it's a lot like a Mei ice block, except it does damage. You can use it while jumping in to actually combo players and get a boatload of damage on them, zone them, block, range damage. Here's the key, and this is where he's going to be better than Doomfist is with the same type of gameplay loop. Basically, that wall can deny long-range poke damage, and it shoots really, really far. You can also use it to do rollouts. Like, it enables him in a very crazy way. This is textbook 5v5 tank. These heroes have the ability to do everything on top of insane mitigation. Yeah, but this guy can do anything. It resets his wall climb if you actually end up getting to a good spot on the map with it. Super strong ability. Great for setting up his ultimate and trapping players, which we're going to get to next, I believe. And then, yeah, so yeah, that wall, really strong, great damage, great range, can split targets. Super, super useful tool when you're weaving in those cooldowns. And let's move on next to his ultimate, which is called Downpour. And this ult is crazy, let me tell you. This ult is absolutely crazy. It goes through walls, through everything. Essentially, it goes in like a rectangle straight where you're looking. So it doesn't go side to side. You need to look in the line of sight you want it to go. And it goes straight down, and it can pin everyone down. It is so good into the really strong support ults like Kitsune, like Juno ult. Again, they're doing a great job of making new ultimates that like kind of counter the super strong ultimates in the game. I got to give their design team credit on that. It's insane. His ult is insanely powerful. You can bait people in, and because it can go through walls, it's a lot like Dragon Strike, where old Dragon Strike, if you were losing a fight, you could bait their chase in. If you had your ult, you could ult down the lane and get a kill or two. It's the same with Mei Blizzard as well, where if they have that ult, it's very difficult for you to chase kills because they can trap you and turn the fight. This is another one of those ults. It's super dynamic, really, really strong, and is great for setting up combos. I saw some Bastion ult combos. I saw a ton of different stuff. It was super, super cool, very powerful, massive threat, great ultimate. So overall, his design is great. The only issues that his design have are things that are forced because of the 5v5 format, like the ability to mitigate insane amounts of damage. He also has 650 health and 200 armor. Insanely tanky. This guy is easily, in my opinion, an A+ character. A+ out of the box, maybe S tier. And the reason why I say that, and you can see in these gameplay loops, you play them a lot like Doomfist, where like you kind of just slam cycle on a choke. The biggest mistake you can make, and I cannot stress this enough, is overcommitting. You never have to overcommit on this character. Never. Find a corner to anchor and play that corner well, and you will never die. They need to call him Hazard the Invincible, just like a Borderlands 2 raid boss. Because when you play this character right, let me make this clear, he has no weaknesses. This character has 0 hard counters in the game. 0. The hardest counter to Hazard, I would say, is probably Ana. But if you run him with the Kiriko, which is going to be the best combo with him, I would say Kiriko is a must pick with Hazard. Because it's like Hog, right? Like, it's a better Hog. He's better. He's better in every way. And you might say, well, Sam, you can just hook him or you can do all this stuff. But he has so much armor at his base and so much damage mitigation on top of the mobility that if you have one support cooldown that can bail him out, he will never die. Like every game, regardless of how my team was performing, right, when I was playing competitive viewer games with everybody, like even when my DPS were negative, I wasn't. Like, it's insane. This guy is insanely powerful. The best, you will never beat him head-to-head. You need to beat him by killing his team first because he is that tanky with that much mobility, that much damage, and that much damage mitigation. Personally, like, again, I'm not a fan of tanks being designed this way. If his health pool was lower, it would be fine. Like, again, if it was a 6v6 health pool, he could actually have a lot of these things because he would actually be killable a lot of the time. But this guy, on top of all the tank passives, like the power creep is absolutely unbelievable. It's unrecognizable. Like these types of tanks, and again, this is not me hating, just to be clear. Like again, he's fun to play. I'm not trying to hate on him here, but I'm sure it is miserable to play against. And he doesn't have any hard counters in the game. Queen, you can poke out and live because you have all the armor. Mauga, again, your block and armor mitigates so much of his damage that you're actually favored in the neutral. It's easier for you to force his stuff than it is for him to force you because, again, you have the block on a resource meter, right? I think Orisa or Zarya are probably your two best bets into him. But, like, let me be crystal clear with you. This guy has 0 hard counters. There is not a tank that you can swap to in the game that can hard counter this guy. Not one. Not a single one. Because his kit is so versatile. You beat this guy by stalling him out and killing his team first. Because he's got so much on his kit. You'll never, ever be able to kill him. Unless he makes a catastrophic mistake. So the good hazards are going to learn exactly what they need to do to sit there and live forever. And you won't be able to punish them. So if in your mind you think that you can counter this character, you can't. Get it out of your head. The only way to beat him is to go around him to his team when he has this much sustain. I would be shocked if he doesn't receive slight nerfs going into his launch. Slight. It just needs to be slight. It doesn't. I think if he has this much sustain on everything he does, his health needs to get nerfed. Needs to get nerfed. Especially with tanks not getting as much of the DPS passive. Having that much buffed armor with Ana and Kiri being able to pump out healing into him. The comp that I had success with, honestly, was Ana Kiri. And if they go dive past my team, then you run Kiri Brig or something like that. You don't need the Kiri unless they play Ana. If they don't play Ana, you can play Juno or anything like that. But if they do play Ana, you do need the Kiriko. So, yeah, I mean, guys, I would rank this character like a 9.5 out of 10 in terms of fun and strength. He's a more fun Doomfist, just straight up. He is like an Orisa-fied Doomfist is what I would say. He is an Orisa-fied Doomfist. That's what he feels like. And man, is he powerful. So if you're looking for a powerful, flexible tank to just body lobbies on, this is your guy. If you're a support player or a DPS player who has to play against this guy, tough shit. Welcome to 5v5 because this guy is going to absolutely bulldoze you and there is nothing you can do about it. Man, absolutely insanely powerful character. I think he'd still be more fun to play and play verse in 6v6. But listen, if you guys were expecting for tank power creep to stop in this 5v5 roll-lock format, I hate to break it to you. At this point, it should be clear to everybody that what Hawk and I said a year and a half ago is absolutely the case and absolutely true. The power creep is not going away anytime soon. It's going to get more and more powerful. And so if you're playing one of the original heroes, better hope your tank gets Giga buff to compete with this, because let me tell you, there ain't no competing with this. This guy is an absolute behemoth of a tank. Maybe overall, the strongest tank they've ever added to the game. And I know that's a crazy thing to say post Mauga, but Mauga clearly was going to get nerfed, and he's not nearly as flexible as this guy is. This guy is insanely flexible, 0 downtime, unlike Mauga, and man, can he roll and smoke some teams. Those are my honest thoughts on Hazard. Insanely OP. Definitely on the strong side of strong, not the safe side of strong. I'd expect some nerfs to come in soon, probably to his sustainabilities. They don't want to mess with his gameplay loop, and that makes sense. But I would expect some sustained nerfs coming his way. Those are my thoughts on Hazard. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy playing him in game. See you all next time. Take care. Peace out.